Hey, this is Mico. Thanks for watching. This video I'm going to talk to you about how to shop for a lease special, new car lease special, and specifically what to look out for. And I wanted to do this video because I found out in my experience that a lot of people that just don't know how to start, how to arrange their shopping process efficiently and effectively, they just Google best lease deals and they just hop on the first dealer that offers something that looks good and just hope that it's all going to work out. Also, sometimes even if you do know how to smartly shop, efficiently shop for a new car deal, you start doing your research, but then since Google figures out what you're trying to do, they start throwing ads at you, and those ads are really attractive, and you get distracted, you develop expectations that may or may not be, possible to fulfill, and then it just throws you off, and then it just makes your process much more complicated and more frustrating. So I wanted to give you 5 points, 5 things, important things, which you definitely have to watch out for and figure out if you decided to look for a lease car special. So first of all, just as an introduction again, lease specials is not a good way to shop for a car. The good way to shop, even if you want to lease, leasing is great, I lease my cars all the time, but the smart way to do this is to figure out the actual car you want to lease, do your research so you can find out what these cars go for, what the incentives for leasing on specific models are, and you can calculate the lease online using any of the available tools such as Lease Hacker, Edmunds Lease Calculator, and some others. And that's it. And then you know what to expect, you know if it fits in your budget, and you know what will be the fair deal. And a lot of times you'll be able to, just with a few easy steps, to negotiate a deal that's better than fair, just one visit to the dealer. But you're not going to get frustrated because if you look at lease specials, you develop expectations that are just impossible to fulfill. We'll talk about some examples. Remember that the goal of a lease special, the dealers and manufacturers, but especially dealers advertise them. Unfortunately, it's not the goal of the lease special is not to get you the best deal. The goal is to bring you into the dealership so they can sell you something. And those lease specials, it's like the Black Friday deals. Sometimes Best Buy will say, TVs for $99, and they're going to have 5 of them. And then 2,000 people bust through the doors, those 5 TVs are gone, and then they're going to lose money on those TVs, but they will make it up on selling other people something else because you're already at the store, you want to buy something. And that's the mentality, and that's how these specials work. There are laws to protect and regulation to protect you as consumers, so lease specials have to go by certain rules. They cannot use bait and switch, which we'll talk about. But still, just remember that the goal of the lease special is not to show you what the best possible deal is. The goal is to bring you in. And they use a lot of tactics and techniques and tricks to get you in. We're going to talk about that. And again, last thing to remember when you think about it is if it's something too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true, meaning it's not true. So, the first thing you need to watch out when you're thinking about a lease special, when you saw a lease special on TV somewhere, is to figure out, is the lease special for a specific car? And if it is, does this car exist? Is it available for sale? So, for example, if I look at BMW national promotions, I open their website, special offers, they will give you lease specials. So that's an example, 2017 BMW i3, and this is $289 a month. There's some, promotions. This is basically $3,000 down. So whether this deal is good or not, this is 2017. I'm recording this in end of March 2018, and we sold the last 2017 new i3, I think 2 months ago. So they advertise it, they give you all the disclosures, they break it down how it works, they give you the MSRP, but this car is not available, it doesn't exist. So let's look at another one. So this one is 2018. This is a different model. So this one is 2018. I know from experience I have these cars in stock. But this lease special is for a specific car. So this is for a car that has an MSRP of $48,895 and details. And here they say this is well equipped with such features of convenience and metallic paint. Well, Sounds great, but does it have navigation? So no, this car does not have navigation. Fine, maybe I don't need navigation. But then I go to the store, to the dealership, and I tell them I want this lease special. But all they have in stock is cars that also have premium package. They also have M Sport package. They have something else. So suddenly the MSRP is not that, and everyone can do the same thing. It's not the exact same car, so the lease special is null and void. So that's with manufacturer specials. Another thing, like let's say I did a search and I found it was on Lease Hacker. I'm sorry, not Lease Hacker, Lease Trader. So this is a website that normally, let's see if I can find it quickly. Lease Trader, Lease Special, BMW. So normally this website is for people to transfer leases from one person to another, like if somebody wants to get out of the lease, but they also put advertisements, and some of those advertisements are by brokers. So I literally saw one. Let's see if I can pull it up quickly. I'm going to search for BMW 3 Series and my zip code and search it quickly. And no, this is not it. So let's see if I can find it, because I did see it a little bit before. It was basically listing by broker, and it was not for a specific car. It would not tell you which dealer, which means that, you know, this dealer may not exist. And it was, oh, there we go, found it. So again, 2017 330i, and it says 189, looks great, 3,000 down. There are some details. And then I have to read the dealer info, and I'm going to give me dealer info. I have to log in. So then I log in, they have my information, they're going to start selling me something. Also, like my red flags, you know, my alert goes off because I'm looking at the picture. First picture is for a black car, second is for a blue car, third one is for a gray car. So I'm assuming this car does not exist. So if it's a dealer advertisement, make sure that there's an actual car. Good lease ad from a new car dealer will show you either a stock number or a VIN number. So I'll give you an example. This is a local dealer nearby. This is Mazda of San Francisco, Royal Motor Sales, where I used to work a long time ago. They have this lease deal on Mazda 3, $129 a month, and it says there's a VIN number. And then if I click on this, then it takes me to an actual car. This is the actual car. I can check that the VIN number matches, and I can contact the dealer, make sure that this car is available. But this is already a good sign. The car is still on their website. Most likely the car is available. Now, so you figure out that there's a car, there's an actual car, it's for a specific car. You saw it's on the website that it's still in stock. Now, you want to take it to the next step. You want to see this actual car, this car works for you. Contact the dealer, tell them you're interested in this specific car. Talk to someone, talk to a salesperson, not to a call center, and talk to them and try to figure out, you know, tell them, I want this car, I'm going to come in an hour or tomorrow, please make sure this car is available. If this car is not available, I'm not going to buy anything else. I'm not going to lease anything else. Also, if you want to, like, for example, you want to get more security, ask the salesperson to send you the actual picture of the car, like the window sticker, for example. Because if the car is gone, if they did have it and they sold it, but they cannot take a picture of the wind sticker, something that you asked for specifically. Why do we have to do that? Because there's this tactic of bait and switch. Bait meaning I advertise something to bait you by a very attractive offer, and when you go there, you ask to see that, you know, actual car that's only special. And I've been told, well, I'm sorry, we just sold this car. We sold it a couple of days ago, but we can offer you a different car. It has more equipment, it's a little bit more, and then they switch me to something else. So it's very important that if you want that deal, you need to make sure that car is available. Next thing is, if the car is available, does this car actually work for you? So find some details. You need to do your research about the model. For example, you know, some models, even some BMW, come with manual seats. So BMW 320i 2017 will come with manual seats. So you need to know that, because if you don't know that and you come in and you see the car and it has manual seats, manual transmission, then, and you cannot drive it, or you don't want manual seats because like you have some health issues, that car's not going to work. Now they're going to switch you to a different car. So even though that car is available, that's not a good car for you. And then because you didn't do your research, Now you're paying more for a different car, and you're already there. So make sure that it's the right car. Don't assume that if you have two cars at the same price, that they're going to lease the same. They are not. They don't have to honor the lease special on one car to the next car. So, for example, I have a $20,000 Mazda with manual transmission that's red, and I have another one for the same price, but you like the color. They can ask like $50 or $100 more per month for that other car. Nobody's going to stop them because there's no lease special in that actual car. Also, when you look at those lease specials, and this is doesn't matter, like this is important for everything. If you see there's some kind of small print, but you can't read it, it's too small, just avoid. Just don't even, just forget about that lease special. I couldn't find one anymore, so that's a good sign. But like a year ago, I was looking for different examples. I saw lease specials that there was small print, and no matter how much I zoomed in, I could not read it. Also, you hear an ad on the radio, you're driving. It's not a good time to listen to ads because you're going to remember $99 per month, but the rest they read really quickly. You're not going to pay attention and you cannot go back to it. You see an ad on TV, same thing. On TV, there will be a disclaimer. It's going to be small print. Unless you pause it and you can somehow zoom it on TV, you're not going to know what the small print is. So if you cannot read the small print, assume it's horrible. Forget about that lease. Don't even worry. So, number 1 is make sure you know it's on a specific car. What is the car that's on the lease special? Is that car available? Does it exist? Can you actually get it? Is it still there? All right. Number 2, second thing that's important when you're looking at lease specials, figure out the fees. Because it could be a 0 down lease or it could be 3,000 down lease, but there could be, and usually are a bunch of fees that go on top of the down payment that's going to change the picture drastically. I'll talk to you about the math later, but I'll give you an example. Let's go back to this lease special for BMW that doesn't even exist. So the lease special on BMW i3, where was it? Right here. So this lease special includes $7,500 credit, that's a lease rebate, and it's $3,000 down. And BMW is nice enough to disclose that they also charge first payment and acquisition fee. But they do not disclose, or not specifically disclose, that there's also tax and registration. So think about it like this: $3,000 plus $925, that's almost $4,000. Now think about this: $3,000 down and $75 credit. Its total is $10,500. That needs to be taxed. Tax in California or more than $10,000, it's more than $1,000. So we got $1,000 more. So now from $3,000 we went to $4,000 and $5,000. Now we have to add registration. You know, it's a $50,000 car, I'm assuming, or like, MSRP is $47,000. So registration is going to be like $400, $450 plus documentation fee. You're looking like, $3,000 on top of the down payment. So now $3,000 down becomes $6,000 drive. And this is in California. We like in California to have $80 capped dealer fee or documentation fee. Now look at this. I found this lease special in, where did I have this? There we go. So this is in Florida. We'll talk about this later. But here's the cool thing about Florida for dealers. There is $989 dealer fee. This is pure profit. So that's almost $1,000 on top of the drive-off that you'll have to pay to get this lease offer. So figure out the fees. Total drive-off, that's what's important. How much do you have to write a check for, put in the credit card to get that $189 per month? That's what you need to know. You need to figure it out. So you can I recommend doing your research by Googling, just, checking BMW website or manufacturer website. Your last resort is to actually contact the dealer because then they have your information. And again, unfortunately, they're not interested and not motivated in disclosing everything to you. They want you to come in and disclose it then, because then you're already there, and then it's hard to figure out the picture. You want to be able to figure out that picture from home, and the best way to do that is use the internet and do your research. Calling or contacting dealer is lazy research, unfortunately. All right, so you figure out what the fees are. What fees are standard in your state? How much is acquisition fee? So the BMW discloses, for BMW is $925 acquisition fee. Different brand could be different. Mazda is probably lower, Porsche is probably higher. Let's see, what else? What is going to be taxed? So like I was talking to you, so there's a huge rebate. That rebate's going to be taxed. Down payment is taxed. In some states it could be different. I'm not familiar with leasing outside of California, so I don't know. But just watch out for taxes. Even when you lease a car, even though when you lease, usually you don't pay tax on the whole car, there still could be big tax. So total drive-off, that's what you need to find out. That was number 2. Number 3, figure out the terms of the loan. This should be a no-brainer, but some people don't think about it. What is the term? Is it 2 years, 3 years? What if it's 5 years? So like Toyota used to offer 5-year leases. I don't know if they still do that, so they will be cheaper. The warranty is for 4 years or 3 years. So you have a car that's on lease that's on a warranty. That's a weird situation. Do you really want to get a lease for 5 years? Usually it doesn't make sense. Mileage. For BMW, like here, the lowest is 10,000 miles per year. But let's go back to this lease special that I found in Florida. So this is for 7,500 miles per year. People that commute, most people need way more than that. I mean, 10,000 is okay, but 12,000 is average for California, and that's people that use public transportation sometimes. Like in LA, average is more like 15,000. So 7,500 might not work for you. What else to watch out for? So those important things you need to look for once you know the car, you know the drive-off, you know the term. Watch out for weird terms such as 39-month lease. It could be cheaper, but just think about it and understand that if you have the car for 39 months, you pay registration for the 4th year because you have to register the car. So you pay another like $300, $400 for registration. You're only having the car for 3 months. So that's a cost to think about later. Now, could be controversial advice, but a lot of people say, we'll figure out all the details, residual, manufacturer, this and that. I say, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. What matters is the total cost. How much does it cost you and what you get for what you pay for. If the manufacturer throws in $10,000 rebate, but the manufacturer is high, it's their problem. Maybe the manufacturer is 0, but they don't discount the car. It could work out any other way. In the end, if you lease in the car, if you're not going to buy it after 3 years, all that matters is drive-off, down payment. Okay? Now, what's important about those terms is that a lot of times you cannot change them. A dealer could say, okay, yeah, we have the ad, $99 a month, and it's 2-year lease, 7,500 miles per year, and it's $3,000 down. These are the terms. Oh, you want to change something? You want more miles? Everything goes off, suddenly your payment goes up. You want to lower the down payment? No problem. You're going to raise the price. So if you don't follow the actual structure of the advertised lease, they don't have to give you the actual lease special. Now that's it. They don't have to follow it. You might still get a good deal, but you'll have to negotiate. And people, we look for those special, so we don't have to negotiate. So we don't want to, most shoppers, you guys, you're not a professional negotiator, and I'm trying to help you how to get those deals so you don't have to negotiate. And if you have to negotiate, that just defeats the purpose. So we figure out the terms of the lease. Thing number 4 to look out for. This is a big one. Be clear on qualifiers, stipulations, all the requirements. One, pretty obvious, you have to have decent credit to be able to qualify for a lease. And like if you have mortgages, if you lease cars before, if you know what your credit score is, you're okay. If you're over 700 and your credit score, your credit's not been stolen, you don't have any medical, weird collections, you'll be fine. But if you're young, if you just graduated college, if you just moved to the country, your score could be high, but they still might not approve you. So make sure you figure out what are the requirements. You may want to get pre-approved ahead of time to make sure you qualify with the top tier, the lease promotion. So this one is the easy one. The tough one is the other qualifications. I'll give you a couple examples. Let's go back to what we had before. So this is a lease offer from a neighboring dealer. And they have an offer for 2018 320, and this car actually exists, so this is great. But let's read the small print. Lease for $299 a month, 36 months. $5,995 down plus lease credit. This is the lingo, BMW lingo for a rebate. Loyalty, drive off. So there's no comma in between. So there's just one word thrown in. Drive-off, we already talked about this. So all the fees, you kind of can figure it out. But loyalty, if you skip that, if you look through fine print, you didn't see that, now you missed the fact that you need to have current BMW to qualify for this. And if you don't have that BMW, again, at best, it's going to change by like $750. At worst, they can just say you don't qualify for any of that. The whole thing changes. And another beauty I found, I looked for some VW specials. And here, so this is a lease for Beetle S, $199 a month, and very small print, plus tax, license acquisition fee, security deposit 0, and dealer fees. Includes $500 college grad bonus, must qualify. Also, this is $7,500. They don't say miles, but that's per year lease. So again, as deceptive as possible, this lease, you need to qualify, and if you qualify, even if you qualify, if you're a recent college grad, then still it's not such a good deal because it's very low lease. Other things they might say, you would say sometimes there's a conquest offer, which means you want a BMW, and the lease offer will be only for something that has a Mercedes, Cadillac, or Audi. If you don't have one of those, you don't qualify. It could be you want an i3, you need to have Nissan Leaf or whatever other electric cars. So watch out, make sure there's some qualifications, if there are some qualifications that you qualify. Another thing, residence, that's a big one. Let me see if I still have this. Yeah, so this is another example of pretty deceptive lease. I just looked for a lease offer for Dodge. This is from Southern California, I guess, and a lot of red flags here. So lease special is $258 a month, 36-month lease, plus up to $2250 bonus cash. So then there's like a breakdown. California, BC, whatever that means, Bank Chrysler maybe lease cash, and then California, BC, Los Angeles bonus cash, which means it might mean, I don't even know, but it might mean that if I'm not Los Angeles resident, I'm not qualified for that. So residence would be another qualification. Plus this lease special, it doesn't even show which car that is. So like that's nonsense. That's not even a real thing. But residents could be qualified. And in terms of qualification, make sure the lease is still valid. Each lease would have an expiration date. So like this one is actually, again, this is local VW dealership, and they're really tricky. There's no expiration date, so I don't even know. I cannot get any details on those leases. Really shady. But like if you, let's say this lease special from BMW, it'll say valid through April 2nd. Sometimes like our dealership, let's say it's already April 5th, but the manager did not have the time to put new specials together to update the specials page. It's still going to say valid until April 2nd. It's already April 5th. So those specials expire. They might still be valid, but you just don't know. So make sure you qualify and know what the qualifications are. Last thing to think about when you look for new car lease specials is to calculate actual cost. And this is actually simple. Once you did previous steps, it is simple. Just make sure you do this in order. So let's open the calculator and let's see. Let's just think about this one. Let's say we're thinking about this lease special for the BMW 230. So they say it's $299 a month with $6,000 down plus lease credit, loyalty, drive-offs. So drive-offs, I can just tell you quickly, locally it's about $2,000. So that's easy. What's not easy is the loyalty. The loyalty, I believe for this model, for the 2 Series, is $750. So let's do the calculation. We're at $5,995 plus $750 loyalty plus $2,000 in drive-offs, and we have $87.45. That's the drive-off, 36-month lease. All right, let's remember that number. And now $299 per month plus tax. So let's just do a quick calculation with, let's say it's 10%. It's less than 10%, but let's say it is. So it's $328 including that. So the drive-off will include first payment, 36-month lease. Let's multiply this by 35. So this is the sum of payment plus we said, I think it was $87.45 So $20,256. This is the total cost of this lease over 3 years. I divide this by 36 months. This is my real number. The real number to lease this car is about $560 per month. Okay? So when I do my calculation for a car that I really like, and I calculate on Lease Hacker, this is the number like I need to compare to, not the crazy number of $299 that I might not even get. And if I do get, I'd still this huge drive-off that I didn't realize how big it is. And also think about this. A lot of times lease specials will be for short term, 24 months. So there'll be big down payment. Let's think about this for a second. Let's say it's an I3, right? So there's a $7,500 credit, lease credit, plus $5,000 down, right? That's $1,250. Why is it 24-month lease? Because if I divide this by 24 months, it's a difference of $520. That's how much it changes your payment. But if I do the same, 75 plus 5,000 divided by 36, now if it's 36, it only lowers my payment by $350. So that's why a lot of times lease specials are short-term, high down payment because it looks good. But if you calculate it, a lot of times you'll figure out longer term is cheaper per month. So, to summarize it, 5 things to look out for. Find out the actual car. Is the lease special for an actual car? Does this car exist? 2, figure out the fees. How much is your total out-of-pocket you need to do to drive off with a car at that payment? 3, figure out the terms of the lease. How long is the lease? And what's the mileage? And number 4, be clear if you qualify for the lease for the actual offer, and it doesn't change if you don't qualify. Last one, you can calculate what the lease actually needs. I hope this helps. You can comment, you can contact me directly with specific questions, and that's it. Thanks for watching.